I call the shots, I never call it quits. Trust my intuition, bet it's right and bitch, it often is. Seen too many others come and go, they had the wrong intent. Do it out of love and never for it, then I watch it get bigger than expected. Don't second guess it, I let it set it. It's God's plan, we out here only accepting blessings. I'm stuck with it, this mindset is terminal. In and out different terminals, leveling up is personal. And I already made it, y'all can miss me. I smack my girl's ass, tell her pinch me. It's hard to believe I made something from nothing. No hindsight discussions, I've been writing, I love it.
Welcome to the 3 Gig Sports Podcast, where we are never wrong, just sometimes misinformed. Danny G, Mylie, and Jim are in the house tonight. Boys, what's up? Miles, are you working on this website or what, man? Are we going to get something going?
Yeah, we are. It should just be mind-boggling, the amount of stuff you can Google to put it together. Like,
is this kind of like a little slice of heaven for you in a way? Because you go down rabbit holes. This seems like something that can go one down run to another, but then bring it back in at the end.
yeah, it's crazy the amount of knowledge like I've absorbed, but it's also crazy to like when you see it coming together slowly.
Yeah.
It's like, how am I doing this? And it's going to bring you back to my main point. People don't use Google enough. Like, you can do anything with Google, and the fact that Google is not something that is paid for yet is mind-boggling because...
Don't say that too loud. We like free, maybe.
Well, we do, but can you imagine...
Oh, we pay for it.
Yeah, well, we do, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to pay for a plumber, so how do I fix this? Well, here's $50 for this knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where it's going to go eventually.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, you don't pay literally, but you definitely pay with, like, all the ads and the privacy stuff and things like that. They make plenty of coin off you. They could give you that motherfucking plumbing instructions.
They should, right. But
they could still gain money by paying for the plumber to come do it for you.
100%.
But back to the website, it's just, you're right. I click on something, I'm like, how do I do this? Now it's teaching me how to do this with an added thing. Now, like, how do I do that? And before you know it, this website, it's gonna blow our minds, I think.
I like at quite a bit of it already. I like some of the shit that I got to chuckle off of some of it, and I was digging it. So I'm excited. We've been talking about it for a while. I'm so glad that you grabbed that bull by the horns and just rolling. I like everything we got going so far, and then what you have been putting into it. Can't wait to see it come to fruition.
Yeah.
Fully into fruition.
Well, it has no option but to. I'm too dived into it now.
That's right.
Right, yeah.
Love it. So 3 Gig Sports will have a website up and running. The goal is to have it up here pretty soon, but definitely 2023, we're going to have some good shit out there, content, potentially blogs to come, and things like that.
3gigsports.com. Hey, and by the way, if you guys ever look up GoDaddy, make sure you get that together in one word.
Yes, because when it sends you a link in a group text and you go click it, it gives you dad's son kid advice. It's like a big old therapeutic thing. I'm like, did you mean GoDaddy.com?
I was just trying to get our parenting skills up to par.
Hey,
first of all, that's way better than I thought it would have gone.
Right. I was like, oh, thank God.
No doubt.
Oh, thank God.
I was upset it didn't.
Right.
I was like, wait a minute.
Man, alrighty. Well, we do have that, looking forward to that this year. But let's talk about tonight, man. We got a lot of good shit to talk about out there, right?
We do. We have a bunch. One small thing before we get to all of that, what I have down. Without going over, like, 'cause I didn't really read it. You guys seen that Vince McMahon unretired for a minute before whatever the hell it was that they have coming up? Doesn't matter. I don't watch wrestling that often.
WrestleMania.
It was at WrestleMania?
It's got to be. It's January.
Okay. So the reason why I bring this up is I always pull up my ESPN and all that stuff and kind of have it just sitting here. In light of that, because that was like, what, maybe 4 days ago I seen that one, that he was unretiring. Stephanie McMahon, which is his daughter, resigns as WWE's co-CEO.
Ooh. You've got a rift in the family.
No, I don't think there's gonna be no rift there.
Why?
If she can step away and Daddy's still paying her, go for it.
I don't know. I think there's something else going on that she's not happy with too. Otherwise she would have stepped away before she was named that, right? Because they were trying to get her to take it over, and then he just comes back. As a woman, deep down inside, and you know some of the stuff, you know what I'm getting at? Like, she's still a woman at heart. Like, how could you do that to other women?
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what it could be. Nothing.
There you
like
go.
That. It could be nothing like that. I'm just going. I'm giving you an insinuation.
That's the dive I needed. Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. But
I just seen that right away. I didn't know. I mean, it's not something we need really full blown, but I just kind of seen them like.
Did it say anything? Sure. Did it say anything about Triple H?
I haven't opened it up. It's just literally one of the headlines.
Well, if you see anything about Triple H in the next coming days, then we can discuss the rift there.
Yeah, that's a good point, because when he retired, basically everything got put in Triple H's control, right? So I remember hearing a lot of like interviews where the athletes were excited because they could take a different spin, and I think they were going to go PG-13 again instead of PG or whatever and all that. And he was going to be more in charge of the direction of the show. And people were like, fuck yeah, we're going like back to 2098 when it was good, right? Yep. So maybe that's part of it too, is Stephanie's like, you're just coming and you're just taking his nuts away again. Like, we just had things going, and now you're going to come back. Maybe there's some of that too. That's a good call, Miles.
Yep. Less than a week, it says right. I'm not fully reading this thing, but it says less than 1 week after her father, Vince McMahon, came out of retirement, she resigned. So,
speaking of that, I think my social medias think I'm just a huge wrestling advocate, because every time there's like an old school Hell in a Cell Undertaker highlights or something like that, I end up watching the whole damn video. So I get those all the time. And I'm like, I only want to see the old stuff, man. The Rock, Stone Cold, Undertaker, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's all cool shit. I dig all that, and I wasn't even a huge wrestling guy, but I love all that.
Yeah.
Here you go. It is worth a reminder that the WWE board unanimously disapproved of Vince McMahon's return in writing. The board included Stephanie McMahon, Nick Khan, and Paul Levesque.
Which is Triple H, by the way.
And then here it is. Triple H still chief content officer.
Yep. He's still CEO. That Nick Khan is the sole CEO. But all of them were against him coming back. Stephanie's the only one stepping down.
As long as that doesn't change, everything should be fine.
I do have a messed up thing, right? So I'm going to tell you, if you already don't know that the government and your phone and all that stuff listen to you, I'm going to give you the perfect story right now, okay? This literally happened yesterday, okay? Have you ever, Danny, in your life searched for Orca coolers?
No.
Neither have I. Why would I? Right?
Sure.
Okay. Never looked it up. Never talked about it. Not that brand or anything by any stretch, right? Yesterday, so we get a big old celebration or whatever, and it's a pretty big deal. You know, we hit a safety milestone, so they gave us big ass coolers that are $360+
Mine better be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ish, maybe. We'll see.
Ish.
Parts. This thing is big, though. It is. It's massive.
Everybody got one?
Everybody got one at the plant.
Okay.
Because, like I said, broke a safety milestone. And they're just if you don't know what they are, they're a step below Yeti. Like, if you go to the ratings, it's like 78 to 82. Price is pretty damn close to each other, but they are big lugging. They have the Zimpro logo. Big. I'm talking about this big.
Oh, we got tall. The huge ones?
Yes.
Did it come with anything else?
A rack inside. No, if that's what you're saying. Okay. It has like a sliding rack they'll go across. But regardless, I've never looked this up, never talked about it until yesterday. Walking through the warehouse. I do have my phone on me, right? Walk through the warehouse. They literally say it. We're talking about, I was going to break. We're coming for break. Orca, we said something about Orca. Your Orca coolers are here, right? 2-3 hours later, I'm off work. I'm at baseball with Quentin. Going through Facebook. Fourth one down. 4 posts. Orca cooler advertisement. I promise you, I've never looked it up in my life.
That's amazing.
I swear to you. Because I was like, before a lot of times you'd see something that come across like, oh, I swear to God, I was thinking that. Well, you might have actually searched it at some point too. This one I know for a fact I've never searched an Orca cooler.
Yeah. Man.
So I'm just telling you, like anyone that believes that they don't, they do. I'm sorry, they do. You're getting listened to.
That's a swing and a miss because you already got it though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You can make money off me, bitch.
Yeah, as soon as you bring it up. But I'll continue with the news. I just want to tell you that was just nuts. It was like fourth one down, boom. Never searched it in my life. Never. Yeah, it just mind boggles. I had never brought it up until that day. Actually, literally, like that brand of cooler. Talking about it, picking it up, and that's it.
That's
and all
crazy.
of a sudden I get an advertisement. Just coincidence, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure.
So, gentlemen, 65-7. Georgia throttles TCU in the national championship game. TCU acknowledges afterwards that Georgia is a higher tier after their blowout loss. I have a couple questions for you, okay?
Yeah.
First one, would you ever admit that someone's a higher tier than you if you're in the championship game?
Nah, man, we didn't bring our A game. We just didn't come to play today.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you ever say they're a higher tier?
No.
Don't care what level you are. You don't say that. We have things we need to work on. This is great experience. We didn't bring our A game. You would not hear me say they're a higher tier.
Yeah,
That
you
won't
can't
happen.
do that. No.
No, you can't do that. So what are you telling your incoming class, basically?
Go to the SEC.
Right. Exactly. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
They deserve to be there.
The second one isn't a question. It is just a statement. And then I want you guys to talk about what you saw, game, all that. But one great thing about this, because we kind of knew this could have happened, right? Are you really shocked?
Yeah. Yeah.
You are shocked.
That it was this bad. Yeah, for sure.
Maybe. I actually wouldn't have been shocked if it was 50. 65 is getting up there, right?
Yeah.
But if it was like between that 40 to 50 range, I wouldn't have been shocked. 65, that's a lot of goddamn points. It's college basketball score, okay?
Yeah, they won the game by 58 points.
But,
right?
Yep.
So.
But what is coming from this is so awesome, and that is the memes, the TikTok videos that they're putting together. I saw 2 of them. One of them I laughed my ass off. I laughed at the other one. I chuckled, but I laughed my ass off. Have you guys ever seen Friday Night Lights?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. You know the championship game where Dallas Carter is like throttling them because they're like the bigger city and they're physically demanding. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do you remember a part where Billy Bob Thornton is on the bench and the game had been going for a little bit? And he's talking to his stud defensive end, who's one of the bigger kids on his team on Permian. I think it's Permian. However the name of the school is. But he's talking to him, and he's like, so what's it like out there? He's like, they're fast, physical, mean, dirty, fast. He's like, you already said that. In the caption, it says, first half, Georgia versus TCU with it, and say that's TCU talking.
That's hilarious.
So that one got a chuckle out of me. The other one, if you've ever seen The Campaign, the movie with Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis, it's like the comedy of I don't know if he has. So, but they do the part where he has said he's going to go up and he's going to go up against them. Their very first debate or initial appearance when they're sitting at the desk, and Will Ferrell looks over at him. He's like, "Wow, welcome to the fucking show." And just goes like this, and you can see Zach Galifianakis goes, he had TCU under Zach Galifianakis, Georgia under.
Awesome. Yeah, I did see some, at least 2. There might be more videos of this, but I saw a video with a couple Bama players where they're like, y'all wanted somebody to knock Georgia down, but didn't want us in the college football playoff, huh? I'm like, that's a goddamn good point because they were the only team. Ohio State put up a run. Don't get me wrong. I think they played really well, but other than that, it was Bama.
Well, this is just a joke, nothing literal.
Do you think Tennessee? I'll let you
go ahead.
But do you think Tennessee could do it had they not lost their quarterback? You remember how they fell apart after they lost their quarterback because they could swing with anybody offensively.
They
were
want
healthy all around.
You think so? I'm just asking you a quick one on that. I don't know if
they wouldn't have made it back in. I don't think they would have made it back in.
Yeah, he's saying if they did, though.
I'm saying if they had made it back
Yeah.
in. Because TCU made it in with one loss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
they won.
and we thought that last loss was going to get them out of it. But this is just joke, nothing literal. If I take my Pee-wee football team and you give me a senior on that, we winning, and we winning big. It's a jab. It's a big jab.
To what? Oh, yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
But it's nothing to do with his age. Well, I mean, it's everything to do with his age. But 25-year-old going against some 18-year-olds. Where do they draw the line? This isn't the military. You know what I'm saying?
He's not the oldest quarterback, though, to be this good.
He's got to be
That,
the oldest
who's
to
that,
win a
Florida State?
championship.
No, who's that Florida State quarterback? He was 28 years old.
I'm with you. I'll give you the names of both, actually.
I can't remember.
And there's two of them. One real closer than that one. One was Chris Winkie.
Winky's who I'm thinking of, yeah.
You 12-year-old. Jesus. Chris Winkie. The other one was Mr. Brandon Whedon. Oklahoma State was 27 years old.
Oh, that's right, he was.
He went and played college. He went and played baseball and then came back to play football. So he had eligibility in football. What he's getting at is at a national championship level,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
and multiple years of being the starting quarterback on a very, at least more recently, prestigious school that's drawing nothing but 5 stars, consistently up in there too. You don't see that very often. You don't see it because usually those same schools, Miles, are drawing in 5-star quarterbacks, someone to kick out that seat, right?
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I don't know if he technically has any version of eligibility left.
I mean, the NFL's
No, he's going to the draft.
That's
he
that is
has to.
fact.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, the NFL's going to have to redo their rookie contracts due to this because by the time another 4 years under a rookie contract, he's 29. Now we're talking about retirement.
I think Miles missed the first part. Brandon Whedon was drafted, and he was 27.
No, I didn't miss that.
I know.
I
Okay.
didn't.
Okay.
This guy's going
Okay.
to be drafted, and he's going to be a starter.
Ooh, that's where we can have
don't
a
know.
conversation. I don't know about that. I don't know about him being a starter. I think he'd be drafted. I think he'll be a good backup.
I don't think so. I heard an interesting take. Chris Herbstreit was talking about this because of what people like Mr. Irrelevant in San Francisco are doing. And you think of that,
Who was
like,
a 4-year starter too?
yeah,
I think, right, for
and-
Iowa State.
yeah, yep, all 4 years, and he's doing really well. He's more prepared than any of the other quarterbacks when you talk about rookies playing in the NFL. And he thinks that the NFL is really going to start changing to wanting these guys versus they look like they're great. They've got all the potential in the world, but they've only got a little bit of tape, right? They've only got a little bit of playing time. But guys like him have a ton of football experience, and Stetson Bennett is a really good example of that, right? He's got a shitload of experience. Not all being starter at Georgia necessarily, but
I think you just
it's
nailed.
interesting.
You just nailed my theory, Danny. My whole sit behind the starting quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah. Yep.
'Cause
When I heard that take, I thought about that exactly.
Yeah. So I'm not going to disagree with that. That's exactly what I've been saying, and I kind of take back what I said there. Then.
So I can go both ways on this, just like Miles' sex life.
Ooh.
One of them is agreed, and I could see them doing it for 2 reasons. Number one, I could see them doing it because guess what? They're under so much pressure to throw these quarterbacks in right away, no matter where they draft them anymore, right? No matter what round. Everyone wants to see if your quarterback isn't balling out. They want to see the dude that's on the bench, right? I want to see the thing we don't know. When in reality, they want to, deep down inside, they want to sit their guy for a year or two, right? And actually build him up to take it and, like, hopefully take it full bore, right? That's what they want to do. They can't do it. The fans won't let it happen, usually, right? What's the next best thing? A guy starting 3-4 seasons in college football. You have all that experience. You have definitely SEC or one of the big conferences. Brock Purdy was still in the Big 12 where they're slinging it around too. The second part of agreeing to that is if you ever notice, the NFL goes in phases of how they draft their guys, what route they want to go. And what I mean by that is 1 second they don't care. They want the dude that has all the arm talent. They want the one that's flashing off the screen. Doesn't matter if he only started 8 games, only one season where he started and that was the flashy thing, right? A lot of them don't pan out. But then they get to the older ones, and then they'll go through that phase, and they'll go through the ones that have 2, 3, 4 years of experience starting and put up either decent numbers, even sometimes in some cases record-breaking numbers, right? Guess what? You still can't figure it out. I promise you. And it will go like this. It will always go like this because you just don't know. You know, like you get out there, don't matter if that dude starts 4 seasons, 1 season, one's going to take off, the other one isn't. You know, and everyone likes to jump on what's popular, what's cool. Brock Purdy's working right now, right? So that's kind of the thing they're kind of looking at, you know?
Yeah, and I realized I said Kirk Herbstreit, but that just clicked in my head. But the way, like, I kind of branched off of that take, and I'm thinking, so if you think about the NFL right now, what's the problem with teams that are paying their quarterbacks top 10 quarterback money? What's the problem with that?
As in the veteran quarterbacks, like they're in their second contract, so big time contracts.
Yeah, big time money, right?
They don't have enough money to spread around to have them talent around them.
Right. And so what does San Francisco have going on? Take Brock Purdy out of it, but that type of quarterback in that role, they've got talent everywhere.
They have
right?
the money technically, financially, because they're not paying. Jimmy G's contract a few years ago was kind of big. It's no longer big, especially with the cap. So it's not a big deal. It's almost like a backup quarterback number, and then you're paying a rookie number. Yep. So you're able to pay other people.
Exactly. So if you start to change, like we've gotten to this point over the last like 10 years, 15 years where the quarterback is all that matters, right? And so they're paying them all that money and everything like that. They're drafting them high as hell. But most of these young guys that are getting drafted in the top 10 are not doing shit. They're just not, because they're put in shitty situations with shitty teams and all of that, right? Well, if they can actually start adjusting and going back to kind of the older school approach and like building the team, and then, okay, as long as we get a serviceable quarterback, we'll get the talent everywhere else, and we can bring in somebody that has the experience to lead the team, like Shanahan's done in San Francisco and things. Mm-hmm. That's the recipe, man. It's not these get the quarterback and then hope you can get pieces around him, because you're going to end up with short careers, shitty seasons, all those different things. Mm-hmm. I think Shanahan is setting something up that other teams are going to start emulating.
Yes. Yeah.
Shanahan wasn't expecting to go to him, though, either.
No. But he was actually, in perfect scenario, he was hoping it was still Trey Lance rolling right now, right? And that they would have gotten a draft pick for Jimmy G at some point, you know, and it has quite panned out, and it's went the other way, and the Brock Purdy. See where the overreaction is going to be. This is what I'm getting at. The overreaction is going to be is that, which I'm going to bring up to you a little bit later, so I don't want to go too much into it, but Carolina is going to believe that they're the 49ers and that scheme, and that they can duplicate that scheme, and that they can draft a quarterback like that. It don't work like that. You don't run that scheme. You know the reason why that scheme works is because it's Kyle Shanahan.
Exactly.
Right? That's any coach. It doesn't mean just Kyle Shanahan. I'm giving him maybe too much of a hand job here, but what I'm saying is the great coaches. Do you know how many people have tried to do it the Belichick way and it don't work, right? It works for them, and they know what they're doing. They know how their system works. It's gonna work for Kyle Shanahan. He is that guy. I think McVay can do this to a certain point too. If he has an offensive line. He needs offensive line. He won't admit that he needs offensive line for his offense. Coming back, because that comes back to what Shanahan's is. Shanahan's offense, he can turn any running back into a Pro Bowl running back. Any one of them. If they can stay healthy, literally he would have a 1,500 yard rusher. None of them can ever stay healthy, but he can interchange them so it don't look like he's missing a beat, right? Kind of the same thing in the quarterback department. Every quarterback that has been back there with him looks more than serviceable, looks like a legit starting quarterback when they're in that system. And there's going to be, at some point, there's still going to be, unless they get, and this is where it has to tie back to my original belief, is that until they get the dude that can do something a little special beyond just running only the system, they're not going to win a Super Bowl with that. I don't believe they will. Could be 100,000% wrong. But when those quarterbacks leave there, do they have the same success all the time when they leave that system?
Only one I can think of is Jared Goff.
Yeah, and that was a shock, and it's a pleasant shock. I'm rooting for him, right? I really am. That's that's an awesome story, and they're in our division, right?
Yeah.
But not very often do you walk out of one of those damn good systems like that, and you have a successful career outside of that. Tom Brady is a freak. He's one of the GOATs, right? He's in the conversation no matter what you believe, regardless, right? He walked out of the Belichick system or whatever the belief, the whole thing. But you know what I'm getting at. How many of those guys walked on to actually have out of any one of those successful systems, they go on and have a good career somewhere else when they didn't stay the guy, right?
Or the people that
they played very good backups, though. I will say that. Like, if you need a backup, like we have one. He looked pretty damn nice on Sunday.
Yeah.
He did.
Yep.
Nick Mullins balled.
He played well, yeah.
He balled with the Niners. He balled with that system, too, Like, he's a very serviceable, more than serviceable backup quarterback. But if you give him he looks good enough. You give him the ball, you are our starter. You are our guy. You are, there's going to be a plateau because it only takes you so far. The system only gets you so far. You need that in my opinion, you need that special ability, that next step up that takes you to the next step. Regardless if it's overstudying or whatever, but it doesn't have to be an athletic feature, but maybe Brock will have that.
He's got Shanahan. He don't need it.
See? We're putting bank on it.
He leads the league in touchdowns since he started.
Yeah.
True.
And he has a really good shot at winning Offensive Rookie of the Year, and he's played how many games? Isn't that crazy?
That is I'm pulling for it, but that's also a joke.
No.
This was hands down. No, this was hands down one guy, and he got hurt. That sucks.
Brees Hall.
That's what I mean by joke. Yeah. This was Brees Hall had this in the bag, right?
Yeah.
That sucks. That's what I mean by joke. Like
Yeah.
I don't care who actually wins it. I should say it sucks more than anything. But it's from one Iowa State guy to another, I guess. So
Yeah.
that'd be kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah, we got off track on the whole Georgia thing and everything.
Mhm.
I do think it's interesting, and I think it might help make a more competitive league in some senses if you focus on getting pieces instead of a piece and then trying to fill around it, right?
Mhm.
I do think that's a big part of it, but fucking Georgia, I did not see that coming, man. There's no way.
The one thing I'd say, I didn't expect TCU to only put up 7. I knew it was going to be a shootout. Like, I put some money on the over because, quite honestly, I was like, well, if TCU has a shot in any way, shape, or form, it's going to have to be a shootout because that's what they do. They score, right? So I did not expect 65-7. That's for damn sure. But I'm not. I guess I'm not shocked by
What
a
was the
blowout.
over-under?
50. Was it 58?
So it went over either. Georgia went over.
Yeah, Georgia went over. I think the over hit by the difference in score.
Yeah. Holy shit.
So
I'll tell you one thing I didn't do.
but it was not by it wasn't by my thought process though either. It wasn't by my reason for doing the over. It was Georgia did that, So
Yeah.
what are you saying, Mouse?
I'm a live betting fool, and I
You are.
always take the unders, right? Like I take the team to come back and win. That's one bet I stayed away from, boys and girls. I was not touching that. Went into halftime. I was like, ooh, I like these odds. I like these numbers. No, didn't take it. Could not bite on that one.
Couldn't bite.
Nope.
Didn't it go under?
No, I'm
On the live
talking
betting?
about when I say that, I'm taking the live bet money line. Always money line.
Because what was it at half? It was 35-7.
38, I think.
Was it 38-7?
Yeah.
And it was like plus 3,200.
Was it for
I want to say it was something that ridiculous.
for what TCU to come back?
Yeah, money
Oh,
line.
money line. I gotcha.
Money line.
No, I thought you meant the over under.
It actually might have been more than that at one point in time.
Okay.
Like when there's 4 minutes left to go, they lock it so I don't place a dumb bet. Thank you for that, FanDuel.
Thank you.
Because
So-
I was going to bank on
Sure.
50 points scored.
Whether it's good or bad, this basically locks Bama into the college football playoff from here on out. This is what we were worried Cincy was going to do last year, right? We were worried they were going to ruin it for everybody, and they
yeah.
actually hung a little bit.
They kind of hung, and
way
then
better than TCU, you know?
they fell off like what the last half quarter or something like that. 'Cause
Yeah.
they didn't have enough. They just got oversized, right?
Yep.
I don't know about completely like that. Like I'm telling you, I agree with you in the sense that I think it's going to take a lot for Alabama to get taken out. They're going to have need 3 losses. That's what they're.
Shit,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? College football
Yeah.
playoff, be like, nah, bro. We know how this goes.
Yep.
Alabama could swing with anybody. I don't care how many losses they have. Right? That's what their thought process will be. I think this game would have been more competitive in two different senses. Outside of Bama. I'm saying outside of Bama. You obviously seen it in the first one. Ohio State should have won the first one. There's a few things that happened. No excuses. I mean, there was an injury, and the rest of their team didn't come up. They gave up 21-0 or something like that after the receiver went out, 21-3. Yeah. And then the missed field goal. After the kicker, some bad juju for them, or however you want to call it. I think he was like doing some swaggy shit, right? Like doing something stupid after he made a field goal, like a wave or something. Yeah. I think Ohio State could have. They already kind of showed it because they played them. And then I still believe, even though TCU wrapped up Michigan, I think Michigan would have played Georgia a little bit different. I don't know if they were ready to swing. Michigan was built to run, right? That's what they were built to do. TCU was built to just kind of throw all over the place. They didn't do their one job, and that was shut down that offense, the throwing attack. I think Michigan would have lined up better with Georgia. But you are right. I believe you're right in that one. It's going to be hard to get Bama out of that seat if Georgia's up there. Like, you know what? We can't be having 65-7.
Right.
Can't have that. Agree. Georgia, quick. Do they come back next year? Remember, you just said Stetson's not going to be there.
They've probably got somebody better right behind him. They'll be fine.
Think so?
I think they've entered this Bama mode of churning. We saw them lose almost their entire fucking defense, and they still did what they did this year. I think they're going to be at least in the picture for a while.
Okay. What do you think?
Yeah, you're gonna go with your top three every year. You're gonna have Bama, Georgia,
a Big Ten of some kind, I'm sure.
Michigan or Ohio. One of those three teams are always set. The fourth one is gonna always be like a TCU now, I believe. And like, yeah, TCU, you got Cincinnati. You're gonna have somebody that's not always in there. They're gonna make it, just so they don't have to make any adjustments to everything. Because
Yep.
Michigan might fall off a little bit over the next couple of years. I don't know if you've got anything in your notes about it, but
I know about it. I don't. Yeah. I don't think
It's
he
not
shouldn't go down that venture again.
It's not in my notes, but we are going to talk about it because it's part of one of my questions for you guys.
All right.
But on the next one, Cardinals fire Kliff Kingsbury, and their GM, Mr. Steve Keim, has mutually decided to step aside. Shock level?
0.
You called it all year.
No sympathy here. I'm not saying they're obviously, I'm with you on the quarterback too, but there's no sympathy here. I don't think he should have been a coach in the first place in the NFL. Sorry, not sorry is my way of putting it. I don't think he's an NFL coach. I think he'd be a brilliant, I think I put it on our social media, right? I think he'd be a brilliant offensive coordinator at the college level. Yeah. I really do. Like, please come to Iowa as offensive coordinator. Brian France hit the fucking dirt road. Like, yeah. I would love to see that. I mean, I'd love to see him on the offensive side in college football. He's not an NFL coach. Soon as he gets a dude that is outspoken or feels like he needs to be the man or whatever the scenario is. I mean, you have little man syndrome with Mr. Kyler. Evidently, 5'8", and he has to show that he's the man or whatever. You know what I'm getting at. Anyone that doesn't know what little man syndrome is, look it up.
Look it up.
But as soon as he has a little bit of that, you could tell he didn't have control of his team. And the moment you lose control of your team, we've already seen it. Who was the one that happened earlier this year where I said they lost it on the sideline? Happened not that long ago. I was like, they had to go. They're fighting on the side. Broncos. Hackett.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as that starts happening, especially on the sideline, and it's spilling over, you knew it was going to happen. Kliff Kingsbury's lucky that he was able to finish the whole season.
Yeah.
Because that started spilling over. What week was that? That started spilling over. There were still
early, dude.
8 games left at least. At least half the season was left, right?
Yeah.
And it was spilling over.
Yep.
So he's lucky he was able to keep it that long. I don't think he should get it. I don't think he will. I don't know if he ever will get another shot in the NFL. Do you think he gets any version of an NFL job next year?
No, he'll end up at college again, and he'll do fine.
What?
Not sports related, but do you know that the Republicans are preparing to vote on a bill that will abolish the IRS and eliminate income tax?
Yeah.
That's not real, is it?
Yeah, it's real. It's not gonna.
Sorry.
happen, but it's real.
I didn't mean to. I was just scrolling through. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's one of those things that goes through the House and it'll pass, but then in the Senate it's done.
Yeah,
Okay. I just wanted to say that.
But yeah, it's a
Yep.
thing. It's for show right now. But yeah,
Sorry,
yeah, they are.
just wanted to catch. It's caught me off guard there. Sorry.
You can get rid of my federal income tax, bro.
I'm
I'm
looking-
here for that.
I'm looking
Yeah.
up DeAndre Hopkins, and that's what I see.
Stop taxing overtime.
They must know what I've been bitching about lately. Showed up right away.
Regardless, where do they go next?
Man, I don't know what Kyler's going to decide, but it's got to be somebody that he likes. Maybe it will be another college coach that he is into. But I could actually see old boy from Kansas City coming over to Arizona.
Bieniemy?
Yeah,
Okay.
because they need an offensive mind to help because Kyler can't figure it out himself necessarily. So that's where my head's at.
So, first off, I guess I got to give a little rant to this. This is gonna get your wiener hard. You lost your team. It isn't that you fired your coach. Like I said, I think you should have got fired. You lost your team. The reports are that we read is that he is going to have a say in this. The man that is throwing a temper tantrum on the sideline should not be having a say in who your head coach is. That means the next guy is already failed, is already set up for failure anyway. Now he's got to kiss his ass.
Yeah, because I brought you in.
Right. I can't run this team the way I feel is best to run the team. So you don't even have a fair shake. That's a crock of shit. You need to end that right now. At that point, if it's, if you don't want to let me pick the coach, I'm gonna go play baseball. Go play baseball, bitch. That's kind of where my attitude would be. Yeah, at that point, I'd rather restart than I'm like. There's plenty of quarterbacks. We have a pretty high end draft pick right now. There's plenty of quarterbacks in this draft, right? Which we're gonna get to that interesting question, but I like the Bieniemy one. If Kyler can grow up, that'd be beneficial for them. I'm not fully sold on Bieniemy, but I like the thought of it.
I get why, too.
I like the thought
for
of
sure.
it. And I've seen him get into it
With Patty.
with Patty. He's kind of Patty's made a couple of his barbs, but sometimes people disagree with stuff, and maybe that's just one of those scenarios. So yeah. Miles?
I'm just at loss for it all because if you're going to give Kyler Murray a chance to input on your head coach when he's at home playing Call of Duty, is he going to find a coach on there? What?
Yeah, Miles, who'd you say he needs? Kyler's going to want to bring on?
Who is he going to want to bring on?
You said something on our social.
Oh, yeah. Kyler Murray is going to want to bring Activision on as his head coach.
I love it.
How are you going to? Because I didn't think about that either, which is kind of funny. You remember the contract situation at the start of the year that kind of leaked out?
Yeah.
That he had to have so much game tape study outside, like on his own personal time, so many hours a week because they were unconvinced that he was doing that. You're going to have that same guy who you need to bribe into studying outside of the game make the call on who's going to be your coach?
Yeah. The same guy, there was multiple reports about him being childish and whatever else they used there. This is the guy. It's because they paid him. That's the mistake.
Especially when he's at home with his knee up playing more video. You better not run into a lobby he's in. You're getting ran through. I hate to tell you that, first off.
Yeah.
Second off, okay, you fire Kliff Kingsbury. Okay, fine with that. Now you want to trade away DeAndre Hopkins, his number one receiver. Oh, so now he's just crying boo-hoo. DeAndre's not catching the ball? Or how about the fact that you're not throwing the fucking ball? Or when you do, you're throwing it 20 yards out of bounds, trying not to get a, what do you call that? Outside the pocket foul, flag. Intentional grounding. Yep. Yeah, Kyler Murray, I'm going to go on a little rant here. You should not have that much control. You got paid. Shut the fuck up.
Right. How much do you, even if you're the most valuable employee, which you might have felt that way at some point, or whatever part of your career in any job, how much did you have in the company? Besides the one we're currently doing right here.
Yeah. Especially if, in his case, he's got some stats in the NFL. He has not won shit.
Yeah.
It'd be different if this man led your team to a Super Bowl and won. Then it's like, all right, man, what do you think?
Won playoff games,
Yeah,
like you
or
said.
games
or
at
just,
all.
You won some games and it's looking like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Man, it's wild.
I think it's gonna actually get worse and worse. So I'm with you. And I think it's either you or Rio. We got to give a shout out to, because one of you two called the part, and I didn't see this part. If you guys remember the DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray, because I thought DeAndre was just purely holding him back to calm him down, as in Kyler. Evidently, if I remember correctly, one of you guys called out that there is actually a rift between those two also.
I was saying you don't go out the alpha male.
Right, but there was a report that they actually got into it.
Yeah, they were on the sideline.
Because there's no reason why they'd be trading him. If they're letting Kyler pick the coach, they're sure as hell not going to trade his number one receiver if he wants him there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
You called it then?
I'm not going to say for sure, but I know I was talking about them arguing on the sideline, and then I was like, he's the alpha male of the team. DeAndre's the alpha male of the team. You never go after the alpha male.
As well as he should be.
Well,
Yeah, he's the best wide receiver in the NFL. So, yeah done.
Yeah.
I don't know where...
Well, behind JJ.
Man,
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. I'm not going to disagree.
Yeah. But I don't know where... So just because we branched off onto this, he has to approve. He's got a no-trade clause, but he has to approve of the trade, right? And they won't do it, it seems like, till after July, because that's when they'll save the most money. But what do you think?
If I had to make a guess right
Where he
now,
goes?
Yes.
Okay. So we're assuming it's going to happen.
Yeah.
he's going to go back to he's going to go back to Texas, but it ain't the Houston.
You think
If they were going to pay OBJ with one bad knee, they're going to get DeAndre Hopkins with two bad hamstrings.
OBJ could still end up there.
Or
We don't
DeAndre
know.
Hopkins.
Oh.
No, I'm saying that's where DeAndre is going to go.
Yeah, I get you, though.
I could. It's kind of intriguing. You can never take them out of the mix, right? So you can go a couple different routes. You got into a social media battle just a little bit ago. It actually is not a bad spot. And that would be, and you can go two in the same division, but we'll go with the Bears at first. If you believe in Justin Fields, which the conversation we're going to bring up later, if you believe in Justin Fields, you have all the cap space in the world anyways. You brought in a Chase Claypool who you're hoping will take off with him, especially in the offseason when they get to put some reps together and an offseason together. You added DeAndre Hopkins on the other side too. And then you, who's that one? I always forget his name. Not mess up his name. Forget his name. Who was their number one receiver before Chase Claypool was there? Mooney. If you turn Darnell Mooney into a number 3, the only way Justin Fields does not succeed at that point is because Justin Fields and offensive line, but you can build that. You know, your athleticism can make the rest work for a little while.
DeAndre Hopkins is only going to play in a dome.
Detroit, then.
I'll give you a dark horse.
Ooh.
The Raiders. Devontae doesn't want to be there anymore. And they need something, because I still think they're going to try to lure good old GOAT Tom Brady over there to play in that system.
Do you think Devontae would want to be there, though, if he knew Tom Brady was coming, though? Versus, I wouldn't want to be there if Jared Stidham's the guy either.
Mm-hmm.
But I still like it either way, even if Devontae is still there. I like the
if they had the pieces.
Hopkins.
Yeah. If they had the pieces and were able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Or just for the trying to entice somebody to come there. I could see the Broncos too. Another piece to get Peyton to officially fuck yeah, I'm in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I got one more, and that'd be the Giants. Because who'd you just say?
Broncos and Raiders.
Broncos.
Yeah.
With a bunch of, yeah. I'm going with the Giants for a different reason, and that's because they don't have a legit number one.
Yep.
And he just seen what they did without. He's like, all right. And he also shows the quarterback, which I don't know if you guys saw that, they're actually working on an extension. Daniel Jones looks like he's going to be the guy.
He's been fine with what he's had.
He
man.
has, right?
Yeah.
Imagine, and Daniel Jones has shown anyone that's been there long enough with him, receivers-wise, if they're there for 5-6 games, because that's all he gets out of his receivers,
exactly.
right? He will wing it. He will throw it to you. Darius Slayton will ball out for about 3-4 weeks, and then he gets injured. And then all of his other ones. DeAndre Hopkins be like, dude, I know this dude will throw me the rock. They're chippy, like, down-to-earth, hardworking team.
A really good offensive-minded coach.
Right.
A great running back.
A great running back to take the pressure off. And he's like, that would be intriguing, too, staying in the East. I understand it's outside. I get it. But it is New York City, too, on top of that. So you get that spotlight, too.
Yeah.
Right? I kind of see that.
I like it.
And he still gets to be the one.
Not even a question, yeah.
Yeah, the clear-cut one. And like you just said, Brian Dabble, right? Why wouldn't you want to go to a good offensive mind like that? Look what they did without a leading receiver.
Yeah.
So,
the Chiefs.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but
I'm so pissed that Patrick Mahomes has been better this year without Tyreek. That shit makes no sense to me, man. That is wild. We tried to dog on the Chiefs and tried to fucking say they weren't going to be good this year, and they are actually better than they were. That man is so good, and I just have to say it out loud because Mahomes is so fucking good.
Because he has to now. And we did say in our defense, because we tried to beat it up, but we also said this could be good for him because he won't get tunnel vision for one guy. Now he's going to look all over the field and he's going to distribute, and he did, and he balled, man. And
the Chiefs would be that would be wild if he went there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. DeAndre.
Well, Smith-Schuster's on like his deal's over this year.
Yeah, I think a few of them are just 1 years.
Yeah, I think they'll re-sign Schuster though. It won't be. I'm not saying it'll be a huge deal anyway, but they'll re-sign Schuster. I think, right?
Yeah. What was he? It was only like $3 million.
Was it $3 million?
Or
$9?
No, maybe I'm thinking of
15.
MVS. I think one of them was like 3 or $9 million. Maybe that's MVS, but yeah.
We'll continue rolling. I'm gonna give you one that isn't really shocking. Lovie Smith was fired as a Texans coach after just one season. This was just hours after the regular season finale.
This shit is so good, and I didn't even think about it until I was bantering online with good old Matty Hiscox.
Yeah.
Because he is the reason that the Bears got the number 1 pick, because he went for 2. He knew he was going to get fired. He's like, fuck it. We're fucking these guys out of their number 1 pick. Went for 2. They won that game. And now the Bears, which my prediction came to fruition, are getting the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. He's just doing work for Chicago still, man.
He is. That being said, though, that man, we knew this was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
As soon as the racial stuff came out with Brian Flores, they didn't hire the guy they really wanted to. At the time, that was Josh McCown is who they wanted, and Lovie Smith was just put in as a de facto, try to take the... So this is horse shit that he got fired, but we knew it was going to come, right? Checking out an article, the ones that they've interviewed or requested to interview, Josh McCown isn't even on there. So I don't know if they...
I don't know if I want that job if I'm anybody.
No.
They don't do anything to help you.
No.
They are like in a permanent tank mode over in Houston.
All the time. Absolutely. And when they did seem like they kind of had it together for about, 4 or 5 years, or they're at least competing every year. They had
good running back, good receiver, good quarterback. Yeah.
And then the defense started coming around towards the end of that, the offensive rule, but they weren't missing a beat. They were a playoff contender. In fact, they kept going, and they always what team did they always meet in the playoffs? They just because they kept getting beat in the first round. They always faced the same. Was it Kansas City? They always faced them every single year. They made the playoffs like 3 straight years. Keep getting bounced, right? And instead of building on what you had, you guys weren't over the hill. You just didn't know how to figure out how to get over keep building onto what you have. There's just like, well, we got instant satisfaction. We need it now. Or they let Bill O'Brien become the GM and the coach at the same time, and he just did it. He tore it all down after they made him a GM too.
Yep.
He started trading first rounders for shit.
Well, Kliff Kingsbury will only have an 8-hour drive from Texas Tech to NRG Stadium.
Is that what you're saying right now? Are you putting something out there?
Yeah, over there. Yeah. Let's go.
Yep.
I'm with you. I wouldn't want that job.
No.
That's why somebody like Kliff Kingsbury would end up with it.
Yeah. You know what? Fuck it. I said he was going to get another head coaching job. That would be the one. They do have to, by rule, they have to interview a minority candidate. But
and
you know how that goes.
Never mind. Never mind.
When they pick their guy, the rest of it is just whatever.
Right.
In fact, I don't have it in front of me. I knew you were going to do it, too. God damn it. Maybe I do. Regardless.
I'm looking at you. Oh, hey. Do you have anything about Sean McVay on there?
No. We talk so much Rams
I know.
for a team that is so bad this year.
We have to.
They let me down. I said they were going to win. Miles, what the hell?
Well, did you see what happened?
Dude, I live bet that, too, thinking that they were going to. And oh, yeah.
Baker Mayfield underthrew, which cost him the game.
Soapbox 2.0 is coming.
Oh, here we go.
I was going somewhere with
I'll
this.
let you do. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Don't let me forget about my
Okay, I
Soapbox
won't.
2.0.
So this has to do with the league entirely. Okay? Just hear me out. Give me 3 minutes here.
You're good.
The Rams hired Sean McVay, right? Their second year in LA, he became head coach. So the Rams or the NFL league wanted youth. They wanted points. They wanted score now, right? What has Sean McVay done more than any coach? He has produced the turnover of the young coaches going everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So everybody's saying, oh, Sean McVay is retiring because he's burnt out. I think Sean McVay did. I don't think he wasn't only hired by the Rams. He was hired by the league.
To branch out.
To branch out, get the youth in there, right?
Get the youth coaches.
You got all this youth now, right? Here's Sean McVay every year. Got to rebuild new coaches. Got to rebuild new coaches. Not rebuild his team, but, the coaching staff. Mm-hmm. And then what happened when Sean McVay came in? Defenses started running the too high. Well, the too high can take away points or it can put up more points. Because now you got your zones, you can hit them, and you're scoring faster, right? That's what the league wanted. That is my belief, full-heartedly, that he was brought in to redesign the league, and he did his job. Now let the man step away.
You went a little deep.
Yeah, I wasn't
expecting like some real deep one, but okay.
Yeah, I think he's done because I think Stafford might be done too.
No, he said he's not.
Really?
Yep, he said he's not retiring. The biggest regret I have is Aaron Donald. Should have let him step away. But other than that, that's just my belief on Sean McVay and the NFL, though, not just for the Rams.
Yep.
The whole NFL.
Yeah.
I got you. Plenty of guys coming from that tree now, right?
Well, it's
Including
not.
our
It's not
Vikings.
only the tree. It's the offenses that are being ran.
But he's teaching that too. That also came. See, the ideology behind this offense was not anywhere. He didn't reinvent an offense.
No.
He, Kyle Shanahan, they all came from the same tree.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it goes even way further than that, but nobody ever gives it props, right? It's the West Coast offense. It's just a little bit revamped, different version of it, right? It's still West Coast offense, which was
Gruden.
no.
What? Not even Gruden?
Before that. Bill Walsh, Niners.
Oh.
He's the one who started the West Coast offense.
Okay.
And then the branches. Watch the branches as they go, right? And they may look like they're separate, but they're actually. I went through this tree once, like a sophisticated one that they broke down. It was kind of cool, and they all basically tied back down. High majority of every single coach is tied back to like 4 coaches.
Yeah. Yep.
Crazy.
And modern era football,
But
they tie back basically to because one of them is Bill Parcells is one of them also ties back to.
But with this offense came the bend don't break defense, which allows points to be scored.
The bend don't break defense was already there, but the no hitting and the rule changes changed that.
Yep.
So the bend don't break defense used to be the Tampa 2, but it wasn't a bend don't break.
Hey, you just nailed that. That's Madden. Tampa 2.
It is. It's
That's all I ran. That's all I ran.
Well, no, it literally was though. Tampa Bay started that with the or it wasn't. Yeah, you know what I'm getting at. But they ran the Tampa 2. What makes it successful is that it was actually a very, very powerful defense that you didn't move the ball on. You didn't score on either, but you needed the perfect position players for it. You needed a stud athletic middle linebacker. You needed to be able to go up the gut, right, and cover a lot of ground. They put a lot of pressure on their middle linebacker to cover a lot of ground. You need corners to be able to be instinctive. Iowa plays basically, that's the reason why you see so many interceptions. That's because they have their eyes turned towards the quarterback. They play a Tampa 2 version There's a little hybrid in there, but it's basically the same thing. You have your eyes turned towards the quarterback. That's why interceptions and shit like that are happening. There's so many rules that you can't hit anybody anymore.
Oh, yeah.
That people are making catches that normally wouldn't have been there. They would have been dislodged because you would have got laid out.
You would have got smoked.
You would have got smoked. That's the reason why. It has nothing to do with the defensive scheme. These boys can still shut people down if they were allowed to hit. That's what changed. That's what the NFL did. The offenses and high flying and going, yes, I agree with you. The defenses still could be there. Take the rules back to what they were, and people will be. I guarantee numbers will go down because they're laying a lick. Because you start getting into in between their ears too, thinking you're going to take a lick, right?
Yeah, a big hit would change everything about a game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it gets you ejected now.
My soapbox came to fruition. And I caught this because I told you I live bet that Rams game, Rams-Seahawks. Put it when the Rams were down. Yeah, when the Rams were down. Did another one too on the Chargers, but to come back. Rams come back. There was a magical. You watched the game. Tell me, please, because I was in the vehicle and I was watching Gamecast and listening all the same time, whatever. Luckily, it didn't cost them at the end of regulation. But what happened with Mr. Jalen Ramsey? That got them into field goal range to get a shot in regulation to win the game?
He got a 15-yard penalty, and it had to have, I just read it on Twitter. I didn't see the play, but it was like, that if that's a penalty, they're all penalties.
They said highly questionable.
Like, I will do it right now.
Try to look it up because I didn't get to see the video, but I've heard nothing but highly questionable, which put them in field goal range in the first place in regulation to try to win it anyway, right? It's already set for a tie to go into timeout or go into whatever. And then I think there's did he throw an interception in OT? Regardless, there were some flags getting thrown later in the game, and guess what?
I think his interception was in OT.
Was it? That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And then they didn't have to move very far to basically seal the deal, right?
Yep.
Okay. But the Rams were marching in. Yeah.
Yeah. So
regardless, flags were flying. I'm not going to go way in too deep, but very simply, flags started flying when the game was getting to where it looked like it should have been the Seahawks. Rams started coming back. Flags started flying. They need the Seahawks to win for what?
For a chance.
No. Well, yes and no. But they were hoping that if the Seahawks win earlier before the Sunday night game started, Detroit wouldn't come to this game with motivation because they were already gotten kicked out of the playoffs.
Yep.
And then it'd make it a little bit more of a layup for the Aaron Rodgers-led Packers.
Yep.
Right back to all that. And they gave them every fighting chance, too.
Yeah, they did.
So, soapbox kind of over. I know we're going on tangent. Some of this stuff is like we got to go with it. Aaron Rodgers threw that game.
He was bad.
Aaron Rodgers threw that game. Have you ever seen that man throw an interception like that?
That was awful.
They were moving the ball. He goes off of his, and yes, you can sit there. I was talking to a guy at work. We were watching the replay. He's like, well, he had someone coming in and they disrupted his arm. I'm like, I've watched Aaron Rodgers, unfortunately, for what is it now, 15, 17 years, whatever the hell it is, been watching this man. That man, they had been marching the ball. They had a good couple of plays going. He would have never thrown that ball. He doesn't give somebody a shot. You're telling me he didn't see the dude coming right up the gut at him when he's throwing this way? No, he knew what he was doing. He would have never thrown that ball. He would have scrambled out a little bit to get it repositioned either on that guy or he would have came back across the body over here. That man would not have taken that shot. That was an air ball. That was a complete jump ball. The dude was kind of open, but he let him be open. He could have thrown it a second earlier than that, and the dude was still open. It didn't matter because he was going to lead him even more. He threw this game away, and he did it on purpose. This is what I'm getting at. I think he was. I do.
Okay. It's interesting because
call me crazy.
He came into the game acting like they already won, acting like they're in the playoffs and the media is bullshit and everything like that. I think in that game, since we went into that, the biggest turnaround in the game was when old boy got kicked out of the game for pushing that trainer that came on the field. That's when everything seemed to shift for me, because they got the touchdown and everything after that, and then it just felt different. But there were definitely some plays where they tried. There was an early interception that got called back because of a hand to the face. That's one of those things. You could call that kind of shit on every offensive play. It definitely seemed early on that they were trying to give him a little help.
They both should have been injected on that play too.
That big guy that chest bumped him after.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Get out of there.
Yep.
He's literally running on the field to check
Yeah,
on
like
his
he was
player.
trying to take on like the dude that tried to stand up for himself because you pushed him in the first place, and then the big guy comes up and belly bumps him like your big ass safety couldn't take care of himself when he pushed him in the first place. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you.
Somebody
And the trainer didn't do it. He just was like, hey, I'm coming through. Like, he didn't push him. It was stupid.
Especially when the NFL's on high.
That's somebody's 70-year-old grandpa going to check on somebody, and here you are. Oh, you want to fight?
Well, especially the NFL on high alert from what just happened on last weekend, right?
Yeah.
Oh, did you see the controversy the Steelers did? One of their it was the defense, right? They must have got like a sack or something, and the guy goes up there and gives him CPR. I'm like, no, fuck you.
Yes, I did see
I was
that.
like, what are you doing?
I'm like, oh my God. Like, sometimes you just don't use your brain. I guarantee it was innocent as fuck.
Oh, no, it was.
It was innocent. You didn't think about it, but I'm like, dude.
Like, out of all weeks to not do that.
Yeah, Tomlin was like,
and I mean,
what the fuck?
It was good form and everything, though. So, I mean, if anything, they're practicing.
Practicing, right?
No doubt.
Yeah. Where are we going? We've been going on a little side shoot.
Yeah, let's knock some off. Let's see what's going on.
What were you just talking about? Because I was going to say that too. There was 4 minutes left in this game when he threw that interception. There was it was 3rd and 10. Even if you want to go for it.
Oh yeah.
There was you threw that was an intentional. That's the reason why I believe he threw the game.
You know something interesting? The last 3 years, they've lost the last game of the season at home. So 3 years ago, they lost to Tampa in the NFC title game. Last year, they lost to the Niners in a divisional game. Every year, it's gotten worse. This year, they lost and didn't even get into the playoffs. Every year, progressively worse. And Aaron Rodgers is dog shit in the fourth quarter in these games, by the way. Mm-hmm. So, man, there's gonna be drama for the next 6 months about is Rodgers coming back and everything. I feel like he's done, and I feel like Green Bay doesn't have a quarterback.
I think so too. Alan Lazard, I don't know if you saw his. You need to look that up. They talked to him out in the locker room after that game. And paraphrasing quickly, he said they asked him about Aaron Rodgers. Like, I don't know. I don't really give a fuck. I have my own issue to worry out because he's done with his contract too. He's like, I need to worry about me. I don't know if he's gonna be back or not. Basically, and he's saying that he isn't gonna be back. In so many words, he's like, my contract's up. I had a little flashback on the field, First game was against the Lions. My potentially last game to last game here, that's how he said it, was against the Lions. So I'm happy with growth, blah, 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 and appreciate the opportunities and, so.
And I don't even know if Love is going to – they have not played him. Even when they were, 4-8, they could have put him in just to see what's up. They did not play him for shit. Like, if I'm him, I might be gone too.
Yeah.
So I don't know what their options are.
This is a real quick one. Doesn't really. This just goes with all the firings and coaching staffs and all that. Looks like a little desperate move, but the Titans fired 4 assistants, including their offensive coordinator. If you remember their offensive coordinator, Todd Downing. Speaking of the Packers, remember?
Little alcohol.
Yep, O-Dub after that was a victory at Lambeau, and we did the timing on it, and he had been getting plastered, on the plane, which is against team rules.
Right.
So, but yeah, they basically cleaned house of their assistants when they had a lot of injuries, and then they got rid of their lead receiver,
Yeah, they have no talent. They don't have a great quarterback. Like, what are you going to do? You do have a really good head coach, so I'm glad he's still there.
Yeah.
I think Vrabel's really respectable, but that's shitty, man. You got nobody. There's no offense there besides Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry is your guy. You got rid of the one legit receiver, right? Tannehill's okay. Tannehill's that guy that'll take you only so far, though, I think. We talked about that. I mean, there's way worse quarterbacks than Ryan Tannehill.
100%.
Right? Miles, you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I was just thinking of a way worse quarterback.
Okay.
And it's Peterman.
Peterman.
It's Peterman.
How does that dude still have a job?
I don't know.
It's wild.
And he started a game.
Yep.
He started a game again.
You fuckers.
The Bears.
Them fuckers just couldn't pay my guy. God. Slick hair.
Kaepernick?
No. The beard.
Oh yeah, Fitzmagic, man.
Fitzmagic. You should have just showed him the money. Get him out of it. Come on. Come back.
Come back. Smart man, though.
12 kids, 12 different jerseys. Let's go.
We'll take right. We'll take a brief break from the NFL. We got some more coming up there, but California Legislative Women's Caucus. Mouthful, right? Calls for the removal of Dana White as UFC president. Usually I don't jump on board with a bunch of this stuff because usually we go, I believe society goes overboard with like just pushing for people to lose their job over. This is different though. So I'm going to stop myself right now. This is completely different. How much longer? That's all I got to ask you. How much longer does this guy have his job?
ESPN's not allowed to talk about it. Neither am I.
Did he say something about that?
Dana White's a great guy. I think he does a good job for his sport.
Yep. Hand-to-hand combat.
Hand combat.
No, man, he's got to be done. He's got to be. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know who the face is that you pull in to take his spot because he's a really good promoter and everything. He puts in a lot of fucking work. But you need to at least back him off and make him behind the scenes if you're going to keep him, and then have somebody take his role. You definitely have to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. Would there be any reason outside him being the face for him to even be in the behind the scenes though? Because that's what his personality is. What they wanted. They wanted that look and that personality. I mean, what are you really doing behind the scenes that nobody else can do?
Setting up.
Hello, Jake Paul. Do you want to be the face? Let's go.
Jake Paul's with the PFL, baby.
For now.
That would be a hilarious move, though.
Would it not?
That would
be so funny.
Yeah. I don't think he's got a lot of time left, though. I think they're figuring things out.
I'm just trying to get ducks in a row. I bet you. I'm gonna say, what is it? January 10th right now. 2 weeks.
It's got to be somebody like Chuck Norris or something. Not Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris.
No,
Chuck Liddell or
Chuck
something.
Liddell, the Iceman. It's got to be somebody like that becomes the new fit. Like it's like the NBA logo, right? Except this one walks and talks, and you gotta have a face of the people. Not a bald-headed fat guy doing cocaine, smacking women.
Whoa,
man!
How do you know he was doing blow?
How do you not?
Assuming?
How do you not? Oh, at that
he's
moment?
rich. Yeah. Are you assuming because he's rich and he's in a private nightclub in a private section or whatever you want to call that?
Guy sleeps.
VIP?
Guy sleeps less than I do.
Yeah, he's always working. God, I don't know who you put. It's got to be somebody respectable, but somebody that can demand the attention like a Dana White does, right?
I already know who you want, right? We kind of touched on it. Is there any chance that they would do that though?
No, I don't think he would do that. It's
You
too
don't
much
think
work.
he would?
Yeah, he doesn't want.
Yeah, he doesn't want.
Who's he?
No, Joe
Rogan.
Oh, that's the yeah.
That's the one they would want.
Yeah, that's the answer, but he doesn't want to. Like he doesn't even do all the UFC events because he doesn't want to take that much time away. Yeah, so he won't do it.
So I was taking my third puff here. I see you knocked him out there. It's a good play. Good play. You want some?
Maybe they do some interim shit,
I got
and they bring over a counter fucking for some, promotions. I don't know, man.
I got it. This is easy. This is very easy. I can't believe none of us said it. How is it not Daniel Cormier?
Wow.
Not saying that's what we want necessarily, but tell me that isn't what that they made him try to be like the.
My balls are sweating.
He's well, not him. That's the wrong one.
Oh, what?
My balls is hot.
That's
Derek
Lewis.
Lewis.
That's Derek Lewis.
Never mind. I'm out of this.
Daniel Cormier.
Yeah,
he's the poster child. He's always the good boy.
It's a good point.
He's I'm just saying that's the first one that kind of came to mind that outside of the typicals. I was like. And they just kind of dawned on
unless they have they change it and there's not one face and they have like a group of guys, kind of like they have commentating. There's a few different people you might see at different things.
More behind the scenes guy running it then.
Yeah.
Okay. Another quick one. Carlos Correa finalizing a 6-year, $200 million deal to stay with the Twins.
We paid somebody.
Yeah.
Let's go.
This is after the Mets talk fizzled out. The Mets deal was 13 years, worth $350 million, but they had concerns over his physical. I did the math on this. If you want to do the quick math, see anyone can join me on it. You touched on it. Minnesota paid this man. We don't do that. Ours breaks down to about $33 million a year, I do believe. About $33 million a year. If you do the math on the Mets one, that was only about $26 million a year.
But longer.
That was,
and
you're
that's what
tied to it
wants.
for that long. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you happy with that as a Twinkies fan?
Yeah. It's good to see. We don't do that. Yeah.
Okay. I would say this one would be too long. I was happy with it. He's not just a stat. He's not a stat stuffer only. He is a winner. He knows how to. Once we get this turned around, he will be because of it. And his stats were still there even in a down year. He didn't have guys getting on base, so his RBIs and stuff weren't there. But if you look at the rest of his batting stats, they were there. So, and he still has his glove. So it's they already know what his physical stuff is. So I'm not concerned there. They would have known that all season long and before they signed him on the 1 year, 1-and-1 deal that they did in the offseason prior. So I think they got him actually kind of at a discount, but for higher money, like what you said.
Yeah.
For less than half the years, and yeah, it's pay him up front, but for 13. I was glad to see them pay him, man.
Yeah, I'd take him over Aaron Judge, right, Miles?
Any day.
That's right.
Any day. Because he's a Packers fan.
Aaron Judge's?
I don't know. It might have been Mike Trout, but either way, screw them both.
Jesus.
Tough.
Like I said, small break from the NFL. Bears GM Ryan Poles squashes draft debate backing Mr. Justin Fields as the number 1 quarterback. They would have to be absolutely blown away to draft another quarterback.
Heard that before.
His quote.
Heard that before.
So, first off, number 1, do you believe him?
No.
Okay. Do you believe him?
Never.
Secondly, do you have enough confidence in the quarterbacks coming in that you would trade Justin Fields? Because you would have to almost, in my opinion, I'm telling you, in my opinion, if you're going another quarterback, you need to trade Justin Fields right now because it's the highest value you're going to get from him. If he would have played his last game, he would have broken the quarterback rushing record, right? Highest value you're going to get at this current time if you're going to draft another one. Do you trade him? Do you have confidence in the quarterbacks that you'd be bringing in?
I wonder if they do trade him to Baltimore, because I don't think Baltimore is going to pay Lamar Jackson. And
I don't know what you're saying right now.
I don't know if
You're
Lamar
making my head
Jackson.
explode.
I don't know if Lamar Jackson is going to play in this playoff game.
You're gone.
Because, if you're him, it's like, why am I going to play and risk getting hurt if I don't even think you're going to pay me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he fits that mold of Lamar Jackson. You wouldn't have to pay him shit. Chicago get a bunch of pieces that they need or picks that they need to really shore up that line, maybe do some things on the defense, and then get their potential franchise quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a slim chance they actually do keep him. But if they do, they've got to do all that anyway. They've got to shore up those things because if he's your franchise, you need to fucking protect him.
Yep.
But that thought just crossed my mind because I don't know that Lamar stays in Baltimore.
I'm with you, especially for how long this has been carrying on, like him missing the games and everything. Like, I'm not saying he's not injured. I'm not going to go into that. It isn't like I go search how he's like how bad it is, blah, blah, blah. I don't do any of that. But it just feels like I thought he'd be back at least for the final game or two of the regular season to try to get tuned up for this. I don't think it's going to bode well even if he does play because you've had this much time off. I understand he's extremely special. And you just blew my mind because that would be really, really interesting. And all the kudos in the world to Justin Fields if that's what happens because you get to go to one hell of a culture, a winning culture like that. You go from the Bears who can't protect you to like they know how to do this stuff for the Ravens and they already have an offense built around what you do.
Yeah. How unique of a situation would this be if you're Baltimore? Because you need that.
Yeah.
And you potentially can get one
and
that's not Lamar for dirt cheap.
A hell of a lot cheaper, right?
Yeah.
Who the fuck is paying Lamar Jackson if it don't happen then? Where is he going?
I don't think anybody's going to pay him what he wants. That's the thing. That's where it puts Lamar in a predicament.
Houston had a quarterback like that at one point in time.
Like what, Miles?
Like Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson could just make a stroll down there, get paid.
You believe that Lamar Jackson is the same as Deshaun Watson?
No. I'm saying as attributes, like you're running, you're throwing. I'm not saying they're as good as one another. I'm stating that if
the athletic side of it, I got you. But Deshaun is the passer versus Lamar being the runner.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm stating that
You're thinking Houston, though.
It would make sense for Houston to grab him. They're going to lose their number one wide receiver, Brandon Cooks. They're going to have to hire a new coach. Look, Kliff Kingsbury has already been doing it with Murray. It's all just coming together for me, boys.
Oh,
Put this on pen and paper. It's done, signed, sealed.
If Lamar's focused on getting paid, he wants guaranteed money. Houston probably could give him the most, right?
I got one for you. It just came to me, honestly. I swear to God. And we kind of touched on the team. This is a slam dunk for his situation, too, actually. The only thing that may hurt him a little bit is he might not get what he thought he was going to get with Baltimore with this team, money-wise, because there isn't going to be someone competing as hard financially because the Ravens is the other team that could.
Yeah.
But I have another team that will pay him pretty damn good, and they're looking for a quarterback at the end of this year. And they're built for it. The Tennessee Titans.
God, that would be a combo. They don't have receivers. He's never had receivers. Hollywood maybe kind of, but he's never really had receivers. Okay.
The running back, the offensive line.
Imagine that option.
Yes.
Jesus.
Yes.
Those are the two guys we legit talked about, saying which would you rather.
Right.
Oh, now you have that choice coming at you.
I'm saying the Titans because Ryan Tannehill could be officially done. They saved $19 million on the books if they just let him walk without re-signing him. You get that, and you want to run heavy offense already. That's what you want to do. You've been doing it for how many years now? And you want to build it off your defense, who's gotten a lot better this year. You're just missing some offense.
I'm here for it, dude. I like it.
I think I sold myself. I really did. It just kind of like dawned on me because I forgot about the Tannehill thing, and he's done.
Well, they have
Malik,
right?
I get it, but that's not their third round pick. They have no problem. Just
that's true. Yeah.
That you're not Lamar, brother. Like, sorry. If you can learn something from him, maybe you can get a couple reps when he gets banged up, or if we're winning the division by that much, you'll be able to start a game or two and put your resume together for another team. You know, one of those. Because they're not heavily invested in that. Third round pick isn't costing you much, right?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
And that would be my possibility of another one would be, which I think they would like it too. Same division, Danny. Colts, who are always chasing a quarterback.
Yeah, I thought about the Colts too. Yeah, they need that.
They have one receiver.
Next level quarterback.
They have one receiver, right? They have like 3 tight ends, blah, whatever.
8
the running game,
6 tight ends.
The offensive line had a down year, but it's still a good, very good offensive line when it's all put back together, right?
Yeah.
And you have a good defense. He may have a few more options. He has more options right now. The more I'm thinking about it now than what he did when we were talking about this, like the beginning of the season, or just before the season.
It's true. I just feel bad. He's such a stud. Baltimore should have just paid him. He's been so important to them. But if you haven't paid him by now, you're not going to pay him.
Right.
And I think he feels it. So, like you mentioned his injury, right? Mm-hmm. I think it's one of those situations where if you are 80% healed, right, and you're ready to fucking come back, your team's going to compete for something, you're all bought in and everything, you're more likely to come in and play that game than if you're like, they don't give a shit about me.
Oh, yeah.
They don't even want to pay me.
Right.
Like, he probably could, maybe, but he's not 100% yet. But why would you risk that?
Right.
Because if he gets hurt, he's SOL completely at the end of this season, Baltimore or not.
Yep. Miles, where do you think he ends up, baby?
I already told you.
Besides Houston?
That's it. That's it for me.
Just Houston.
Yeah. That's it.
Just Houston.
He wants the paycheck. There it is. Go get it.
Do you think Houston will do that, though? So that's what I'm getting at. There's another team.
What else they got to lose? They're ruining everybody else's career. Might as well ruin his too.
I mean, you draw some fans in. You bring Lamar in.
Oh, yeah.
So
Offense is going to go regardless with him back there, right?
Yeah.
You can't have a one-wheel horse on offense. She's going to build defense then, right?
Yeah.
Defense showed some spark. So we already talked about that with the Justin Fields part. Another quick one, and that is Chris Ballard, the GM of the Colts, says he failed the Colts while pointing to quarterback instability and will do whatever it takes to get the guy. He was questioned about because they had the number 5 pick, I think. They ended up with the 5 pick when they were picked for possibility outside Super Bowl start of the season.
Right.
They've been chasing a quarterback since Luck surprisingly retired, right? Philip Rivers actually played them up. He did pretty good for him the 1 year, but he was just done after that. He said no more. When asked about if he would think about trading up, that means giving away some assets too to get up to number 1 to draft the quarterback. That's what his answer was. Whatever it takes. If we are sold on a guy, we are going to go get him. What do you think?
Well, so here's the deal. The pro days for the NFL are kind of dog shit. They shouldn't even happen. Like, you should know. I know you're not going to tell anybody what you think, but you should know before the pro days, like, who your guy is and what you're thinking. If the pro days and looking at all that shit makes a difference, you're probably making a mistake. Then you end up like the Jets with Zach Wilson because he had a phenomenal fucking pro day. Mm-hmm. Some of those dimes he was dropping ridiculous. But, like, did you hear about him before that? Not at all?
Really, not much.
Yeah. So then you end up with those mistakes. You have to go with what you've actually seen in real game. So if they know, they need to start making moves to do that if they want somebody. Yeah, exactly.
Before the pro day happens, because that's just going to drive the price up anyway.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't like the pro days. Do you guys want to know what I'm over here doing?
You're all over. I don't know how many pages I've seen you just go to.
No.
I can't keep up.
I just Googled how to become a water boy for the NFL, and you make $53,000 a year, and I'm applying right now.
Shut up,
I
are you?
swear
Let's
to
go.
God.
$53,000?
Yeah. So I got all the teams and all the job openings listed. I was going to tell you guys, but
yeah, all right.
All right.
You guys got in a heated conversation about quarterbacks again.
Not heated. Not this time.
No, I know, not heated, but we're talking about
in depth.
We're talking about the Georgia quarterback.
Yeah.
And who we think is going to sign him or go for him.
Okay. No,
that's not what you're going with.
No, but go ahead. Do you have something else? Where do you think he's going?
Where do I think he's going?
Yeah.
Outside the top 20.
Yeah, he's not going to be in the first round, I don't think, dude.
No. 3rd, 4th, 5th.
So he's going to fall to Baltimore.
Ooh.
So the real question was, I'd let you go on your thing, was the Colts. Do you think they trade up to the number 1 pick? Because they're number 5, and they said they'll do whatever it takes to get their quarterback they want.
The Colts have to do something. I mean, you got Taylor back there. You had a couple wide receivers show up out of nowhere.
Pittman. Yep.
They don't have to trade up, though. They won't have to trade up.
At the 5? See, that's where
Maybe not.
So that's where I was going to kind of go. I was going to see if someone would go because
They
Go ahead.
don't. They don't have a need to trade up, and the teams in front of them, I mean, realistically, don't need to do very much at all. I mean, what you got to worry about the Texans taking them, but I think the Texans are going to go veteran. They're going to go somebody that's already proved, so they don't fall back down in that loophole of doing what exactly you guys talked about at the beginning of the podcast. Build up around before you get to your quarterback.
All right.
Okay, because they didn't do that. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm kind of sold on what you're saying because they did that last year. They could have went for a quarterback. Granted, it was a high end quarterback class.
Not the same, yeah.
But they didn't bite on it when they could have. You know. Who are the top 5 picks? Number 1, Bears. Number 2, Texans. Obviously, number 5 is the Colts. Was it the Cardinals? Who else slipped up in there? I'll look real quick.
I can't remember if the Eagles, they're somewhere around 10 actually, so they aren't there.
18 spots locked in. Okay. Number 1, obviously what we said. Bears, Texans, Cardinals are number 3. That's what I thought. Number 4, Indy. I said number 5. So number 4, Indy, and number 5 are the Seahawks. By via
That's
the
hilarious.
Broncos.
Really?
Lions by way of the Los Angeles Rams.
Number 6?
Number 6. 7 Raiders, 8 Falcons, 9 Panthers, 10 Eagles.
Do you think Danny do you think he just did that to?
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, okay, I'll take it.
Maybe just a baby a little bit.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of movement between now and then, man, but I could definitely see a few of those teams. So it could be a pretty hot quarterback situation early in the first round.
So, I'm sold on what you just said. Unless you believe the Texans are going to take your guy, the guy that you've been, like, you have your tape on, you did all your studying, you fell in love with, and you believe the Texans are going to take him, if you don't think it's like that you have the same faith in, like, top 2 guys. Because technically the Bears shouldn't be going for one. If you believe in what you drafted, right? They shouldn't be going for that if you really want to give them a fair shake. Not saying they can't. Number 2, Texans. Of course they could. I'm kind of leaning towards what he's saying because they could have maybe snagged one last year. I don't know. Interesting. This is a heavy quarterback class.
They were in tank mode, so that's tough for me.
The top 2 quarterbacks to take is going to be Georgia's, and then it's going to be the Kentucky's quarterback.
Not Georgia's. No.
No.
You don't think so?
This is Mr. Bryce Young.
Yeah.
This is Mr. C.J. Stroud. This is Levis on the outside shot, but he had a down year. That's that Kentucky one he's talking about.
The Washington quarterback.
You know what?
Right?
Is it Washington?
Delete.
Delete?
Yeah, delete that last 10 seconds.
Yeah, gotcha.
Stetson Bennett definitely drove his draft
Stock
price
up.
up.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not wrong there.
Yeah. But it was so low to start.
Yeah.
That's what makes it tough.
So if he was a 7th rounder before the year started, he drove himself up to a 3rd round pick, at least in my opinion.
Okay.
Yep.
But the more I look at this, Danny, Cardinals aren't gonna, if they have that much faith in Kyler, they're not gonna draft a quarterback, right? No way.
Definitely
They're not gonna go
wide receiver all the way.
They're O-line, edge, wide receiver. Yeah, they have their things here, but I'm just saying. Now you're number 4. Now you're Indy.
You have a chance between CJ and they're going quarterback, dude.
Who?
Houston.
Oh yeah. I'm saying I could see it both sides, but yes, if you think you grab your franchise, okay.
I just struggled because they were obviously tanking more than normal this year,
right?
For a reason, unless there's some defensive freak that I'm not thinking about. You know what I mean? Like, But even with that said, so say one of those quarterbacks gets taken, like you said, let's say it is Houston, they potentially have the other one.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm getting at. So they might not actually have to trade up. But it'd be pretty stupid of them. The more I thought about it, when he made that comment, he made that statement, why would you tell them you do whatever it takes? Now you just said the Bears are like, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. You want number 1. You already said do whatever it takes, baby.
Yep.
You know what? As the Bears, you want to come up and do that. You know what we want? We want this offensive lineman because they're bad on offense, on the offensive line. Want this offensive lineman. We want your first, your second. You know, to come up here and grab your future franchise quarterback. We already have ours. We don't have to either that, or we can support ours. So
I wish the NFL did
Texans.
that. I wish the NFL did that more.
Texans have another first-round pick, too, at number 12, which was the Browns.
So I'm the Bears, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have my quarterback. Everybody behind me wants this guy number 1, right? He gone. He's riding my bench.
Oh.
Why don't they do that?
Come to me. Come to me if you want him. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'll take him. But then you come to me outside of this. What are you going to offer me next year's draft? I already have him.
I think you're ahead of your curve here. I agree with you. I don't think it gets done, but because everyone's in a win now type of mode. And I feel like every time you draft a quarterback, it's like someone's trash automatically.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a team that was really loving that guy. Let's say they did what he's saying. The Bears, like, you know what? Everyone loves C.J. Stroud. He bounced all the way up the chart. He's consensus #1 pick. We don't need a quarterback. But we're going to draft him. You can come to us and talk about a trade. You don't see that. It's almost like they feel like they're already tainted after they get drafted. Like, ew, you don't have the talent anymore or something, or you're theirs. You ever notice that? Like, that's what it feels like. I'm surprised they don't, actually.
Yeah, it's because you have to think about how many pieces you could get for that pick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You have to, because you're, like you said, you could end up with linemen. You could end up with additional picks in this draft to get young guys in.
Yeah.
You could end up with so much. Meanwhile, you're just going to waste the pick that you have, which waste is a strong word, but if you're not going to play him, you're wasting it, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Danny, the way I was wanting to flip this, though, is let's say I take him, right? Now the teams behind me are going to draft what I want. So let's say I get these guys that spend 5 picks on this one guy that they want. Maybe not that many, but let's just say that you can do that. You used 1 pick and you're still drafting everything you want. You got them to draft what you want.
So
boom.
In a way, what he's saying, the NBA,
Draft and trade
the
is what he's
NBA
saying.
does this.
Yeah, I follow now. Yeah.
They draft and they're drafting the rights. They literally will do that to where they're like, they make the trade before the next team even has theirs. And like, all right, you need to draft this player for us as part of this deal. And that's just the rights due, so to speak. But
Why would you
Yeah, I mean,
not?
Kobe, that's how he ended up in L.A., really, right?
yeah, because he was with the Hornets.
Wasn't it Atlanta?
Hornets.
Who were they? They're not. We'll have to look this up. I thought it was Atlanta.
Who drafted
Kobe Bean.
Drafted Kobe? Charlotte Hornets.
All right, fine. You win this round, good sir.
That's what I knew. I saw a cool ass stat, and I can't remember it, so I'm not going to tell you the full thing. But it was pretty cool. Like the last 5, the highest scoring games, individual games in the NBA. This is a little off note, but since you brought this up, 81 by Kobe. 71 by
The Spider.
The Spider. 70 by Devin Booker. Was at 73? Just not that long ago. Yeah, like 70.
I think it was 70, yeah.
And I'm going to double check real quick, so we'll back this up. All the 13th pick in their respective draft class. So I'm gonna look this up to confirm, because I seen that. I was like, that's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
So who did I say? I said
Kobe.
I have Kobe, and he is the 13th. I seen that.
Donovan Mitchell.
Are you looking that one up?
Yeah.
Okay, and then who did I say was the other one? Devin Booker.
Devin Booker.
The 13th overall pick, Devin Booker. Tell me.
13.
13th.
That's wild.
Is that not kind of crazy, though?
Yeah.
In the last, how many ever years it's been, 20 or 30. Yeah, last 20 years, the highest scoring games were all, it was 81, 70, 70, whatever the fuck it was.
That's pretty fucking nuts.
But all of them were the 13th
13th
pick.
I'm
pick.
confused how LeBron James has never scored that many.
He doesn't need to. He distributes. He
I
distributes more than that.
know. I'm not going on an argument. I'm just
what is
stating.
his highest scoring game? It's in
Probably
the
like
60,
63,
63, something like that.
Yeah.
Please be 69.
No, that's Jordan's, actually. Jordan's regular season, most is 69 points.
Yeah, that's because the worm paid him not to get another point. You got to leave it at that, man. You got to leave it at that.
Maybe.
I won't go to the playoffs with you if you score another point.
All-time scoring game.
I
But,
wonder.
yep. That's what I had there, gentlemen, though.
That's all the news?
Yep.
Boom.
Highest scoring. I meant highest scoring game, not all-time scoring game. What the fuck? Jesus, get my head in my ass.
Yeah, that's wild.
I got a couple for you of dumb shit. Would you like
Yeah.
to hear some dumb shit?
Yeah, let's go dum-dum.
Let's give you some dumb. I'm going to steer 61 as all-time, his
61,
most points.
okay.
I do believe that was at the Garden, wasn't it? I think it was
Yeah.
at the Garden.
Yep.
So I'm going to give you a couple dum-dums, okay? Number one. Today, just today, I go to Casey's. This makes sense if you don't think about it. We're going to compile the whole thing. It doesn't mean we're done, but I'm going to give you my dum-dums for the day. I go to Casey's, and thank you to this. Don't make it political. Thank you to the inflation of this country that I have to worry about like how I put my fuel in, whether you pay at the pump or whether you prepay inside. Because it wasn't that long ago we used to be able to actually weirdly pump and then go in and pay and get other stuff too, right? So I go inside and this morning and I go to get fuel, a Mega Millions because it's up in the $1.1 billion range again. And then I'm getting cash. The intention of getting cash. But I did prepay at the pump. So I found out at this Casey's, it won't do it. It will not let you do prepay and try to get cash back. It's stupid. I don't know. It does it every time. I don't know if it's just my card. No idea. So, in all the confusion of that, plus I got to take kids all the way over from Britt to Ventura to daycare early this morning, so I get to work too. Excuse me. So I prepay fuel. And then I end up canceling the transaction because I wasn't doing the cash back. So then I do it again. Everything's fine. Go outside. Having a brain fart. I flip-flopped it in my head. Go to the pump. I'm already parked in front of it. Go to use my card at it to prepay with the card. Won't let me do it. Duh, but it doesn't tell you. Hold on. This gets good. Doesn't let you do it. So I have one from a few days ago. Leah said the pumps weren't taking cards there at the Casey's one. It was acting weird. So I just registered that right away. So I go over 2 pumps over. I walk over 2 pumps, slide my card quick. Okay, it takes it. So I pull my vehicle in front of that one. Put fuel into my truck. Drive away. Get all the way to, there's a mini stop, which we'll get to my dum-dum. But let's just get to where I dropped them off at daycare. I'm on my way to work, coming back towards this way. And it dawns on me that I had already prepaid for that fuel on a different pump. And that's the reason why I wasn't taking my card. And I just left prepaid fuel on that pump.
That's amazing.
So had to call Britt, Casey's, and tell them, hey, if someone came and got some fuel, that's bullshit. I prepaid on that pump, and I never filled it. Go check the cameras. They didn't argue a single thing. Cashier actually went up and asked their manager who was in the back, like she hadn't seen that before. Like, hey, what do I do in the instance of if the customer didn't use their prepaid fuel? So they're going to reimburse it.
That's hilarious.
Okay. Now, you remember that mini gap I told you before we go to daycare?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's some more dum-dum. Mine just wasn't in the tunage. Going through town, not speeding. If I was, it was maybe 4 or 5 over the speed limit. No big deal. Going through, we get up to the light. There's only one light in town, and it goes yellow right when it was like right past if you were gonna try to turn into Casey's right there. So it's gonna be an uncomfortable slam on the brakes, or just go. I make the decision that it's gonna be. I'm just gonna go. I'm not gonna slam on the brakes. I have my little children in the vehicle, and they don't need to fly. Mm-hmm. Okay, nobody's there. When I'm saying this, I do a glance. Like I'm seeing on this one, it is a timer one. So if not a timer, it's a sensor one. If a vehicle has come from this side, it instantly, and you guys know this, it'll flip to that. Otherwise, it stays green going on highway version, right?
Right.
Until it's sensor. There's nobody there. There wasn't nobody there even to trip it to go to red.
Oh, there was somebody there.
Oh, you're getting there. But it wasn't. It was, but it wasn't. Someone had turned. Truck had turned off that, but it ended up triggering it. Well, either way, nobody's here. Go. Don't really get much past the bridge, and massive lights coming on, and it is the cop.
Oh, no.
So I told you, I've been really lucky here recently, right? I told you about the one where I pulled up in your driveway and they go rolling through a little bit. Told you about the speeding one that they gave me a warning because I was coming up over that hill, which, being 100% honest, technically I was, but I literally had just passed someone that was going way under the speed limit, you know, and then he caught me at the right time, and I was honest about it. I'm like, hey, give me what you give me. He gave me a warning. It was awesome. This guy was even the nicest trooper I've ever had, and that includes the dude that just let me off for the speeding one, right? Except for, he's like, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do about this one. I have to give you one. He's like, did you just not notice? He's like, it was literally, I could kind of let you possibly get away with it, but the other lights were green.
Oh, shit.
He's like, you were red, and it isn't like you were in that weird, it isn't like you were before the trigger. He's like, they were red, these were green. Intersection. It did turn relatively quick. I'm not going to blame it. It doesn't matter. I did whatever. It's either I slam on it or I don't. And he just so happened to be there. Real cool about it, but still gave me a ticket for that. So, give me a ticket for going through a stoplight. He's like, I have to do it. They have been getting nothing but complaints, but they've been talking about truck drivers. Truck drivers been blowing through those lights, right?
Oh.
He's like, I can't tag up these truck drivers when a civilian vehicle is going through. I'm like, you know what? I'm not arguing with you. I'm not saying I didn't do it. So, hey, if you're being cool about everything else, I'm ready to go. So, I got to get to work. But there's my dum-dum. There's another dum-dum.
Damn, man. Rough morning.
It was kind of a rough, shitty one, right?
You need some of that miles luck. Because that red light you're talking about.
Would it turn green?
Yeah.
And like threw like $1,000 at you?
I had some brand new glasses on, right? And there was two of the cops in at the gas station going, the one with next to the dollar store.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting there having a conversation, right? And Jessica's going, for a solid 10 seconds, the light's red, the light's red, the light's red, blew right through it, pulled up next to the cops, went in, got a slice of pizza, and got back on the road. And she goes, you know they seen that, right? And I was like, seen what? Light's not red until I get caught, baby.
Yeah.
That is some Miles luck.
I know. That's what I'm saying. They probably like, hey, Miles, you look like you're down. You're like, you want $50 bill? You want a free tank of gas?
I did what they did me with him.
Jesus.
Or they drove by. They get one look at my family and they go, oh, you're stuck with this poor bastard.
Let's go with one more, and then it's comboed up with and we'll do this for like the month. Tell me if you ever heard anything like this before. This is what my luck has kind of been. Like weird ass shit. That one was self-induced. The other one I'm not using my brain. That's self-induced. This one is not self-induced, but it's my luck. We get a charge for $330 roughly from a hotel in Des Moines. Two different charges. One for $160, one for $150, whatever it was. Something in that ballpark. Like, what the fuck? So first thing that crosses her mind, she calls me right away. She's like, our stuff has gotten jacked, you know. I'm like, all right, we'll stop the cards and all that. And then as soon as I get off work, I'm like, God damn it, everything that goes into this. Like, the bank will pay you back. I'm not worried about the payback side of this part.
Right, just the headache dealing with it.
The headache, because everything's tied to it, right? Everything's tied to your card. I have automatic travel baseball stuff that comes out of here. You know, all kinds of odds and ends you don't think about, right? I get in the driveway at my house. I call this. I look it up, and I see what the hotel is on my bank statement. And then I call them up and be like, hey, what, like, got some info. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? You know, and gave them my name. And they're like, Leo Holder? I'm like, well, that's my wife, so yeah, yep. Well, yeah, it's for the stays in July.
What?
Yeah. By the way, this is last week, early part of last week that we got charged.
6 months later.
So, because at first, they didn't say July at first. They said Leah Holder. I'm like, this slut. All due respect. No chance in hell did I believe that she would actually do that, but 2-night hotel stay in Des Moines. Regardless, I'm like, all right, yeah. Then, because my next question, I'm like, did we actually check in? Because I was going with our stuff had gotten stolen. So if someone checked in, I want video footage right fucking now.
Right.
Right now. Because this isn't going to be a cops calling mission first. I'm driving down to Des Moines. You don't steal hardworking people's fucking money.
Right.
Go steal. If you're going to steal from a fucking corporation. Stay the fuck off people that work 40-plus hour a week job and do rotating shifts and shit. Get the hell out of here. Bit a little passion there, but still, that's the first thing we thought. Leah Holder, yeah, you checked in. Huh. They said the date. I'm like, that's travel baseball time, but there was one that we missed, so that's the reason why I'm still leaving it open for discussion. Nobody actually checked in. And come to find out, it is one that we stayed at. I kept my cool the best I could, though. Because what was the first thing that your eyes got big about?
Yeah, that was so not quite 6 months ago, 5 months ago, though.
Yeah.
And now they charge you with it.
Yeah. I'm like, so the first thing to them is, I'm like, so what the hell is going on? You're thinking 5 months later to go ahead and tag my card because you guys didn't pull the amount back then? I'm like, because I already went and looked. I was like, you know what? After she said that you guys checked in, I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll go back and check. I'll go through my bank statement a little closer. They did charge me for $9. I had more than enough money in my account at that time. It'll tell you how much money was literally there when they pulled even the $9, right? They'll tell you what was there. There's no doubt that there wasn't funds there. So I call them back. I'm like, all right, yeah, your $9 charge that you were talking about, that's there. Like, but the hotel room's charge is not there. Why are you doing this 5 months later? I'm like, there was funds there. Well, they're probably getting stuff straight. We're at the end of the year. I'm like, no, that's horseshit. I'm like, that's horseshit. You're not doing this 5 months. You didn't do it in, I'm sorry, you didn't do it in July. You didn't do it in August. You do it in September, October. You know, we are past Christmas, and you tag a bank account for over $300-something odd for something you guys didn't take out when I'm not trying to screw the system. There was money there. There's literally nothing that was stopping you. You obviously have my card on file because you charged it for $9 for whatever reason. No, this is horse shit. And I want to talk to let me talk to my manager quick. A little bit of wait, gets back on. We are going to fully refund you that money. Not even a debate, not any more of it. I'm like, you know what? Thank you. But I'm like, 5 months later.
Yeah, that's messed up, man. That's way too late.
Yeah. It's been a weird month.
Well, first of all, let's go back to how this all started. You said your luck. I don't hear any bad luck out of that. Do you, Miles?
No, now you got a ticket for it. So
for the one.
Yeah, kudos to that. It's karma.
Bad luck there. Money weirdly, like someone's trying, I don't know. It's just stressful bad luck,
it's like
I guess.
This.
Is that where you want to put it?
Okay. All right.
More on the stress side of bad luck.
I can't believe they gave it back to you. That's where I'm at.
Oh, fuck, dude. I wouldn't stop till they sent me up to CEO. I'm like, bro, you're not taking this 5 months later. It's your fault you didn't take it, and I could prove I had funds. So, and you had my card, obviously.
Yeah.
That's better.
I would have won that hands down. I'm thankful that they didn't make me go up even much further, but I was getting that money back.
No doubt.
Like, you're not taking that 5 months later. Thanks for the free hotel room.
And it's a different calendar year. Like, I feel like maybe that's why, because it got taken out in 2023. I don't know. That shit's weird. I can't believe it took so long.
What was... Yeah, it had to have been, because it was taken at the beginning part of last week, right? And that was...
Yeah.
Yep. Not happy. I'm just telling you, a bunch of weird shit. Some of it self-induced, some of it not. But makes sense if you want to think about it.
Definitely does. Words of wisdom. Get 20 hours of sleep. It's really good when you catch up on sleep that you don't get for 3 days straight. Right, Miles?
Yeah, real good. Real good. It's still affecting me a little bit here. Not going to lie. Still lingering. Don't suggest it. If you can sleep, go to sleep.
100%. Miles had an interesting weekend.
2 days is better than 3. I'll tell you that, though.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Well, I think we've spent enough time on this tonight, gentlemen. And Miles has got to go to work pretty soon too.
No, I don't, Danny. Not on the podcast.
Not on the podcast, he says.
Yeah, let's cut that out.
Don't you work at Pinsboro?
Yeah,
Pinsboro?
Yeah. I always work days too, motherfuckers.
Always work days too. All right, we'll start to get out of here. We'll wrap this bad boy up. So if you found us out there on the interwebs, make sure you like, subscribe, share, give us a rating. It really helps expand the reach, and we want as many people as possible to hear this shit, and so do you. But speaking of that, Jimmer, where's the podcast available?
Anywhere and everywhere you get your podcast. Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
YouTube. Let's go. And we love to tell a good story. You just heard a handful out of Jimmer there. He had a wild morning. I'm sure all of you have had some crazy shit happen like that, right? Well, why don't you just go ahead and hit us up? How should they tell us their story, Miles?
They're going to slide in our DMs for now, but there's going to be a spot when we get the website up and running that you can unanimously send us your crazy stories. And not always, but sometimes we have little, what do you call those?
Prizes?
Prizes?
Yeah, prizes.
Yeah.
And not the kind of prize that, you're, never mind.
You're going to go nasty.
They're going to be good prizes.
I was going to go nasty, but we're going to stray away from the little penile jokes tonight.
Yeah, just for tonight. Don't worry. They'll be back on Friday. Don't worry about that. But that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Hit us up in the DMs for sure. The website will be up and running before you know it, and you can slide on into that old DM too. But with all that said, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This is 3 Gig Sports.
We out.